Good morning everybody, PJ here. Today I'm going to be fitting a 422 Next-based dash cam in a 2020 Ford Mondeo. Now to do this particular job I'm going to be using a dash cam wiring kit. I highly recommend you do actually purchase one of these. They're normally available from wherever you get your camera. You know, if you got it Amazon or whatever, you should be able to order one of these as well. First things first, I'm going to show you what you get in the kit, and I'm also going to show you sort of an ideal little toolkit to get the job done. So let's open up this first, see what we get. Here's everything the kit contains. We have a replacement power wire, this particular one terminating in a mini USB to plug into your camera. Your red connection there for power from your fuse box, which I'll go over later. A black wire to put behind something like a chassis bolt to earth the power unit out. A fuse spur. This is a mini blade fuse spur here. Now this is to actually double up one of the sockets in the fuse box to make it so it's got a double socket. So if you can see there, we have a 2 or a 3 amp fuse already in it. That's to run the camera. The socket at the side there is to put the fuse out the fuse box. We have a larger commercial size fuse spur. Won't be using that. Won't actually be using either of these on a Ford Mondeo, but still. And we have a ferrite filter. This is to stop DAB radio interference, and you wrap it round the power cable. I will show you that very shortly. Now on this Mondeo, this is actually the hybrid version. We're going to need a different kind of fuse spur that does not come in the pack. So here we have one. See how close together the pins are on that compared to a mini blade. Put the mini blade next to it. Big difference. So this one again will be available Amazon, eBay, you know, wherever you get your bits and bobs from. This one's made by Auto Leads. If I can get this to focus. We've got really bad sunlight, which is quite surprising for this time of year in England. We've normally got rain and God knows what, but still. So this is an M2 BSF dual, a micro 2 dual spur fuse. Okay, so you're going to need to get one of these separately if you've got the same version of vehicle as this. A lot of the newer Mondeos do use mini blade, depends on your exact model. You'll have to double check what your fuse box contains. Okay, so first things first, let's have a look at what tools we're going to need to get all this stuff in. Here we have my ideal toolkit. A multimeter for testing your power on your fuse box, because we'll be connecting it to something that goes on and off with the ignition. So in other words, something like heater or something that doesn't work when the ignition's not on. If you haven't got one of these, a test probe screwdriver will do the same job. We just need to be able to touch the top of the fuse in the fuse box with the ignition on and off. A couple of cable ties, show you what we use them for in a minute. Electrical tape, some snips, long nose pliers. You don't technically need these, but to reach in and grab the fuses on a lot of modern cars, it's quite awkward because they're tiny and the little gizmo that comes with the car is pretty useless. So I always use these just to grab the tools. And this, probably the most important tool in the whole toolbox. This is a plastic leverage tool, and it's for levering plastic trim off without damaging it. If you use a screwdriver, it'll put little dints in, it'll look a mess. Don't do it. Order these. £1, £2 again, Amazon, eBay, that type of place, car shop, you'll be able to get some of these. Okay, so let's prepare the power cable ready for putting it up on your roof headlining. First things first, we're going to pop open the ferrite filter. It's on like a hinge, and we're going to wrap our power cable through the centre of it, underneath it, around the top and back out again. So in other words, it sits like that, and we're going to snap it shut. Next up, we're going to pop some cable ties around the cable. So we sort of measure it up against the top of the window screen to get your length that you're going to need. You're going to need a couple of inches or so dangling down to go to the camera. Wrap your cable tie around it, and then what I normally do, wrap some electrical tape around them just to stop the sharp edge rubbing on the inside of your headlining. So go ahead, do both those, and then what we're going to do is start putting it against the headlining on the roof of the car. Passenger side, guys, passenger side of the vehicle on a right-hand drive vehicle. Here we are at the roof. There's the interior mirror, there's our cable, and with the headlinings on these, it's very malleable. Look, you can just pull it down with your fingers a little bit, tuck your cable in all the way along. Look, it's quite flexy, you don't need any special tools. Just make sure your hands are clean, because obviously this is beige. Yeah, power cable to here. Now on the screen pillar at the top here, which again you can just use your hands, they have curtain airbags that go all the way up, okay, and then an airbag cable guide that goes down here. You tuck your cable behind the cable guide, should be able to see it, there it is. See this white thing just there, lot, there you go, see me moving it. Tuck it behind that and then all the way down the pillar until you get to the dashboard. Really sorry about the background noise, guys. We've got a ton of construction happening behind me, so I'll try and keep the audio to a minimum. The pictures should say, you know, pretty much what to do here. We're at the bottom of the screen pillar, and we're going to pop this end panel off by opening the glove box and going around and click. You'll hear everything click and open. Just be mindful of the airbag cable there. We don't want to be unplugging that or pulling on it in any way. Next up, we're going to remove this plastic trim right here. Again, some plastic clips. There we go. This exposes a nice 13mm bolt here that we can use for an earthing point. So we're going to be taking this bolt out to connect your earth to. With the bolt removed, what I've actually done on this one is put a little 8mm ring terminal on the end of the earth wire with a washer behind it. You don't have to do this, but I sort of do hundreds of these and I like it to be very, very secure, so I always go the extra mile and make them a bit more substantial. Now we can put the bolt back in our original slot and that'll be your earthing point completely done. On these new Mondeos, your fuse box is under the passenger footwell just here, and we're going to take our power cable along the bottom of the dash across to that footwell area. Okay, now we're on to testing the fuses, guys, with the ignition off. What we're going to do is pop the probe on the top of the fuse. 0 voltage, that's correct. Then we'll turn the ignition on and this fuse goes live. This is a non-critical fuse, no airbag, ABS, ECU, anything like that. This is the perfect fuse to use, and on these vehicles, to be honest with you, it's the one I normally use. Check your car though, because year, spec, wherever it's sold, will change fuse box layout. Right guys, here's our fuse spur. Fuse has gone walkies. There we go. We're going to pop that in there. You'd normally run a 3 or maybe a 2 amp for a camera. I'm using this power source to power multiple things, so hence I've not got that size fuse already in there. I'm going to pop that in there, pop this back in the fuse box. There we go. If you're struggling to get your power cable behind here, generally speaking, if you just pull, you can get your hand under quite easily. And then it just basically clicks back into place. And there we go, guys. Let's turn the ignition on. Little blue light showing you it's powered up there, and we should kick into life at any moment. If you've got this far, you have successfully installed your own dash cam, and we switch off. Thanks for watching, and any questions at all, please refer back to the retailer you purchased the camera from. Bye for now.